Hello, and welcome to Cheers. That's one woman's opinion. I am your host, Carolyn Mills. So, this has been a really insane week, especially the last few days of it. Um, I think I mentioned I'm having double carpal tunnel surgery on July 9th. So, I had to go to cardiologist yesterday. Um, and then I have to go to another doctor tomorrow because I have to get cleared. It's insane. Seems a lot of work because he says like a 2 minute thing for each hand. And I had to be put out for it. And um, I've had three ankle surgeries. I did not go through this much, but I have no idea. I mean, I'm glad he's being cautious, but a lot of work. Um, and my best friend is moving to Kansas City in a few weeks, about 2 weeks. I've been dealing with the migraines. I started two new classes. Just there's a lot going on, and of course, as some of you may know, if you've been following, I've been doing live recordings every day this week of an episode of a different TV show that James Burrows directed as a tribute to him. Because he passed away, of course, on the 19th, sadly. So I've been doing that as well. I had the interview with Frank Clausen on Wednesday, yesterday as well. Yesterday was Wednesday. And then, of course, the regular tutoring that I do. So it is literally 8:28 p.m. on Thursday, and this goes up at 9 p.m., as you know. And as I've told you before, I'd like to make it look live even when it's not live, so I don't edit. What do Seven Brew? This is a good company. You should check it out if you've never been there. Um, Free advertising. I hope that's allowed. So just a lot's going on. So at the last minute, I'm finally getting to record this. I have them ready ahead of time. I watch them and do all that. I just don't record. I usually do it at 5 p.m. on Thursdays, and then they go up, mainly because there's not a lot of space on my phone to store them. And then and on the computer, it's fine, but I do it from the phone because it's easier, and I'm learning as I go. So let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. Cheers, Season 3, Episode 15, King of the Hill. This episode first aired on January 24th, 1985. It was directed by James Burrows, who sadly passed away earlier this week on June 19th, 2026, from natural causes. He was 85 years old. It was written by Elliot Schoenman. Guest cast John Hancock as Lenny Barnes, and he passed away in 1992 from a heart attack. David Paymer as reporter. Jenna, I'm not sure how to say this name, Kenoff, I think, as Becky. Heidi Sorensen as Ginger. Ola Ray as Andrea. Larry Harple as Larry, and he passed away in 2005, undisclosed cause. And Steve Gianelli as Steve. Cheers is filmed in front of a live studio audience, was said by George Wendt. And the cold open, Sam comes in and sees a big package. He asks Coach about it. Sam sees that it's the Billard Buddy pool adapter. Coach tells him that it's not useless because you can turn the pool table into a ping pong table, a hockey table, or a salad bar. Sam learns it was $600 and he's not happy. Where everybody knows your name plays. So we've seen this in other episodes. Coach has a habit of buying things for the bar without checking with Sam first. Not because he's trying to make Sam mad, but because he has a problem saying no to salesmen. Next, I can't remember if it was this episode or another one. I think it was this one. Um, Somebody says something and Coach literally responds with, "What can I buy from you?" So he likes to buy things. Norm comes in and asks Cliff to help him out, explaining that Vera's mother is in town. Diane suggests places in Boston, such as Bunker Hill, to take his mother in law to. Norm asks, "Where?" Now, I don't remember if they ever say how long Norm's been in Boston because, like the actor who plays him, we learn at some point in the series, Norm Peterson is actually from Chicago, which is where George Wendt's from, which is why he's such a huge Chicago Bulls and Bears and Cubs and all those guys. He's a fan. He was a fan of those. If you've seen Saturday Night Live, you know the Bulls, the Bears. Yeah, he did that. So I don't know how long he's been here, but even not living there. I mean, I live in New York and I know Bunker Hill is. That's just obviously that's the joke that he has no clue, but it's so weird that he doesn't know that. But like I said, it makes for a good joke. Because all he does is sit and drinks beer, so he doesn't need to know. A customer comes in and asks Norm about the big bundle in the front seat. The man thinks that it's his laundry. Norm says, "It's just my mother in law." Diane can't believe he left her in the car. She sarcastically tells him she's lucky to have you for a son in law. He hands another customer some pretzels and asks him to toss these in the blue Honda Civic. Lenny Barnes comes in and looks for Sam. Coach says that Sam is not there. Lenny explains he's there about the charity softball game on Saturday. Coach says Sam would not be interested. Lenny recognizes Coach and quickly says, "I'd be honored to do it." However, he's not needed. It's kind of weird they didn't ask him. But maybe he didn't know that he would be there. Because you remember, Coach not only coached, he also played before he coached. I don't know if he was any good. We know Sam wasn't any good, and he got asked. Diane comes over and agrees with Coach that Sam would not be interested. But Lenny tells them Sam's already agreed to play. He is there for the publicity shot. Lenny goes to make a call. Coach tells Diane he is surprised that Sam agreed to play. She says maybe Sam misses standing on the bump. Coach agrees and tells her that it's called a mound. Kind of cool seeing Coach actually know something that Diane doesn't know. As we know, Diane's not very good with sports. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, because you also don't know sports, in baseball, we have the diamond, and in the center, the pitcher stands on a thing that's like a little mini hill. It's called a mound. That's the bump she's referring to, but it's called a mound. Sam and Carla come in. Sam thanks Carla for her help, and Carla says they could have kept practicing. Sam says that he just wants to keep from embarrassing himself, and Carla says, "Good luck." But Sam informs her that he has a right to be rusty because he's not pitched in 10 years. Roughly speaking, he says 10, obviously. Assuming, I mean, well, yeah, 1985. I forgot we're in January now. So, I don't know when he actually left, but yeah, it'd be about 10 years. Because we know he stopped in 1975 because of his drinking. And that's when he bought the bar. So he's had the bar for about 5 years at this point. Sorry, 10 years. That's 5 years when the show started. I just told somebody I'm not good with numbers today. Proved it again. So Sam and Diane once again debate over who broke up with who. Because Sam makes the comment that the only thing he's thrown is Diane's butt out. Not working through much draw anymore. So they start arguing over who dumped who again, and Carla tells him, the only thing I enjoy hearing more than you argue on this subject is Cliff talking about Florida. Cliff then tells her he was about to tell Norm that Florida is a pollution-free state. And I'm going to just assume you all know that most stuff that Cliff says is a fact is so not a fact. Lenny returns from the payphone in the hallway. He tells Sam that a photographer is coming along with some players from the opposing team to do the publicity shot. Diane says she's surprised by Sam's sudden altruistic personality, but Sam says that it's not sudden. As the Playboy playmates come in, Diane now understands why Sam is so willing to play this charity event. Norm and Cliff come from the pool room and cannot stop staring at these women. Diane cannot believe how the guys are acting. Coach tells her, but they are beautiful. She makes a comment and put it in here, but I remember pretty well. Diane says, if you take away all their clothes, their good hair, their makeup, their money, she says, what do you have? And Carla says, you. Cliff recognizes some of the women from a few years back. Norm says that it's hard to believe Vera and them are the same species. Sorry, same sex. One of the playmates asks if anyone owns a blue Honda Civic with a bumper sticker that says, accountants do it with interest. Norm says it's his car, and the bumper sticker is true. The woman says his car is being towed. Norm asks if they saw an old lady get out, and since no one did, he goes back to drinking beer because he explains she's safe, the cops have her. He may have the award for worst son-in-law ever. Oh, they have a raspberry award for that. Again, if you don't know, the raspberries are awards. They actually came out, from what I understand, they came out in 82. I think it was 82. Whatever year the movie Xanadu came out, which I love, by the way. Olivia Newton-John. Um, it was considered the worst movie of the 1980s. I absolutely love it. They made raspberries, the Raspberry Awards. Raspberry, that's a raspberry. They made that just to give to these people, tell them how bad their movie was. And then they have them every year. Some people go, most don't. But it's kind of like an insult. Some people appreciate the joke. I like those people. Good to be able to laugh at yourself. I got totally sidetracked on the raspberries and lost my place. Oh yeah, cops. Okay. So Carla gives one of the playmates a drink, and she's rather rude. Of course, then again, Carla's usually rather rude. But this woman asks, did she do something? Carla tells her, you know what bugs me about. Oh, my throat keeps drying up. You know what bugs me about women like you? You take off all your clothes. You pose for a picture. Thousands of men see you naked. I have to go through them one by one. It's not fair. The reporter tells Sam to go up with the girls and put his arms around them. He asks Sam how he feels about the game. Of course, Sam makes sexual jokes, then says, seriously, I think it's going to be a great game, and I hope everyone comes out and supports a worthy cause. I don't know if they actually tell us what the cause is, just that it's a charity. I don't think they say what it is. Diane says she does not care what Sam is doing. Sam says he wants to introduce Diane to the playmates as so they can see that charity he was involved with last year. Diane calls him a sand flea. After the commercial break, Larry comes from the back and asks Coach about the pool table. Coach explains it can now change into different games. Larry says he just wants to play pool. So Coach gets out the paperwork and the toolkit. He tries to figure out how to change it back, but he doesn't even know what some of the tools are. Lenny tells him, forget it, I'll play ping pong. Coach responds, God bless you. That's a funny moment because Coach has no clue. Carla, Cliff, and Norm return from the game. The guys are discussing watching the playmates play the game. Diane asks if anyone happened to see the score. Norm asks if there was a scoreboard. Carla tells her Sam's team 7, playmates 0. Sam comes in and Carla cheers him. Sam says he had 18 strikeouts, but Larry said he only had 17. Sam tells him, nah, the ump was blind. Cliff asks where the playmates are since they were supposed to come for drinks after the game. Sam says that they are sore losers. Diane asks him, wasn't this game supposed to be fun? Sam says, I had a great time. The guys were the guy. I lost my place. Oh, Diane tells him that the guys were more interested in seeing the women than Sam winning. She explains they came to see the playmate tongue twister. The playmates wiggle their heinies around the bases. Sam disagrees, but Norm informs him, I paid for heinies. It's kind of funny this episode, seeing Sam not caring about seeing the women. Even after the game, he's like, yeah, they're sore losers. Carla agrees with everyone and says even she was embarrassed by how Sam was acting today. Diane tells him, this is such a major accomplishment, Sam. I think you're ready to take on the Campfire Girls All Stars. So Sam says he will take on any of the guys. He then tells him, go to the Playboy Club and hang out with the losers. And then he goes to the back into the pool room. Diane follows him. She tells him that he has one major character flaw. He sarcastically asks what that would be. And she tells him that when he gets in a contest, he'd rather die than lose. He um he denies and she points out to him that he got into the charity game simply to be around the Playboy bunnies. And then she says, you would actually rather eat them than bed them. And Sam's like, oh, I do have a problem. Sam confesses this has been a problem since childhood. He explained nothing was good enough for his parents, and it seems to be more so the father from everything he talks about here. He tells her he had a two-hitter game in high school, and all his dad talked about was the two hits that he gave up. Diane is touched that Sam opened up to her like that. He tells her about Father's Day when he was 6 years old. He made his dad breakfast in bed. His father told him the eggs are too dry and the toast is too light. I've never heard of a dry egg. Is this really a thing? Um, I'm still confused on the whole martinis being dry when it's liquid, so maybe it's like that. There are some things I just kind of give up trying to understand. Don't get me wrong. So I am incredibly smart. I know this, but a lot of things do not come clear to me. It's a lot to do with the autism. Just certain things don't make sense to me. Like, what's it called? I forget the word, so I don't teach science when I tutor. But you know when you take the water and it's like this, and then you put it in a hole and it's the same. I know it's the same, but I still don't get it because in my mind it should not be the same. And no matter how many times I see it, I will still probably guess it wrong, even though I know. So I usually just guess yes because I know that's what they're doing. But in my mind, I'm going no. That's it. It's one of those things. It's the autism, and not every. I clear this. Not everybody with autism is the same. So there are people that make it that. I don't get numbers. Some people are number whizzes. I like languages. By the way, the ADHD gets worse at night, so more tangents. Diane starts to share a story from her own life. However, Sam keeps going on about the toast. Annoyed, Diane finally yells, oh, shut up about the damn toast tragedy. Sam realizes he is competitive, but so is Diane. Diane denies this. Sam challenges her to a game of ping pong to prove how competitive she is. Sam starts hitting the ball, but Diane says she played ping pong as a child because her dad built her a rec room, and she adds, my daddy liked me. He tells her she got practice staying home from all those proms, and Diane responds, yes, it gave me the opportunity to master the complicity of baking toast. And she finally starts playing. Hours pass and everyone in the bar leaves. This was an interesting scene because nobody actually goes through the door. They just disappear into thin air. It's like, actually, the way that was done, that was kind of interesting. Diane says that they should admit they both have a problem and put their paddles down. She puts hers down. He puts his down. They start to leave when Diane turns back and hits the ball across, declaring, I win. Sam tells her, you're not going to get out of this room alive. The credits come up and it goes dark as we hear Diana yell, ouch. So I gave this episode 3.5 beer nuts. We've seen their competitiveness for a while, so it's kind of funny to see them pointed out. I had to do co MVPs because there's no way to decide between these two. I gave the MVPs to obviously Ted Danson and Shelley Long, both phenomenal in this episode. Best dressed, I gave to Sam Malone. And the reason is, I'm going to move my chair for a second here. There we go. The, oh, it's on this side. The I love this jacket. I have a Red Sox jacket like this, except for mine has a B. I've been trying to find this one with the socks, but I keep finding the B. So at some point I'm gonna get me one of those. I love that jacket. Our Grand Slam line is between Coach and Lenny. Coach says, I find it hard to get to Fenway these days. Yeah, old memories come back. No, I keep getting on the wrong bus. I always have an old schedule. Our on base line is between Diane and Carla. Diane says, Carla, I don't think you should engage in strenuous activity when you're a child. If I didn't do things with child, I'd never leave the house. The only thing I've ever done without child resulted in one. Here's a little known fact. Ola Ray, who played playmate Andrea, was the woman in Michael Jackson's Thriller video. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, follow, click all the buttons. As always, you can join us on Facebook group. Cheers, that's one woman's opinion. Oh, I gotta take off the background, I forgot. Oh, it's good about the background. Blur background. Does that work? Let's see. Nope, that makes it even worse. I was trying something new and it didn't work. So we're gonna have to do it the hard way. They really need to make this a lot easier to get the background off when you're in the middle of a podcast. I'm just saying. All right, so if you like this episode, oh, we did that already. You can join the Facebook group. Cheers, that's one woman's opinion. You can follow us on Instagram at Cheers One Woman's Opinion Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter X at One Woman Opinion. Again, no S. Join the Reddit subgroup Cheers Rewatch Podcast. And of course, you can email us questions, comments, concerns, etc. at Cheers One Woman's Opinion Podcast at gmail.com. Next week will be Cheers Season 3, Episode 13, Teacher's Pet. I always think this was a Season 1 episode. So I thought we did it, but it's not. Season 3. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., the James Burrows live tribute continues. I will be rewatching the Frasier reboot pilot. Today was the Frasier pilot reboot tomorrow. And on Saturday, the last day of the tribute, I will be watching the final thing he directed, Mid-Century Modern, the final episode called The Show Must Go On. And that's one woman's opinion. Thank you.